hard is it to find love in Singapore? And does it get harder the older you are? We have with us today 3 women, Levine, Jen, and Cheryl, to share with us their own experiences dating in Singapore. So, how many relationships have you had? Levine?
Wow, that's a tough one. Okay, the serious one I would say 1.
What?
Yeah, but it was a difficult one because I was in a long distance relationship, but things didn't work out well.
So how did it end?
It ended because it was a cross-cultural long distance relationship, so things were a bit more complicated back then. It's like my ex-boyfriend had to go to a really secluded place for work, and things just didn't work out.
3 serious ones, and then 1 is again not long distance like hers, but maybe racial and so on. So it's like there's like maybe the problems with like Chinese, Malay, and so on. So all these are actually issues as well.
4. Okay, so how did they end?
I guess end of the day, if a couple they don't have the same goals in life, if they don't have the same mindset, they don't have, it's very hard to build a future together. Because like some people make really good lovers, but they don't make good lifetime partners. As you get older, there's the pressure. When you're younger, you're like, okay, I think this guy, I kind of like him, I'll give him a chance, let's go. 2-3 months, or even 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, end of story. But as you go older, you're like, I don't want to waste that 1 year, so you start becoming, I wouldn't say picky, but you become more careful with the heart.
I guess as you get older, you get wiser, and that's very true. So you sort of know that, okay, certain categories of guy are just mistakes, or like just CMI. Sad to say that. It's like, maybe not CMI for the whole of Singapore, but just for me, they're just not what I want. So I'll like leave that whole category of guys alone. I won't go near them.
They may be nice, but maybe they are just not right.
Okay, so how about share your requirements then, Levine?
Wow. Another tough one. Wow. Okay. Me personally, I mean, age-wise, I'll prefer somebody who's slightly older but not way too old. Yeah, somebody like older, okay, maybe about 4 to 5 years. As for other qualities, I'll say we'll just see, because if the right person comes along, you're just like, okay, that's the guy I want, I'll go all out for it. He might be short and ugly and fat and whatever, but if the feeling is right, I base a lot on feeling itself rather than how the tangible qualities actually feel up.
Okay, definitely like financially stable in the sense he doesn't need to be rich, but of course not like dependent on others. I think that's very important. Then of course maturity. I think at times it's not about the age as well, because you can have like older guys but they're not mature.
I think we all have our dream guy. We all have our too hot to handle kind of list. But at the end of the day, it's
reality.
Yeah, it's a feeling. It's how he makes you feel when you're with him. For me, he has to be more driven, because if I'm more ambitious than him, then it will end up being like me scolding more time to get moving and things.
Do you think like it's harder to date at this age now?
In a way, because the good ones are taken already. No, I'm just kidding.
And a lot of gays, so it's like, that's being cheeky, tongue in wit, so yeah.
A bit hard, because at my age, if I'm looking for somebody older, like they'll be like over 30s, and unfortunately the majority of guys whom I know in their 30s are married and happily with kids.
I have a tendency to be a workaholic, so I don't really get out to meet new people all the time. So in that sense, because of work, so it restricts like who your eligible circle of friends that you can date, that kind of thing. But I guess if you talk about difficult, maybe it's more of like, if anything, it will be the time pressure lah. Because I hope that I can have kids by 32.
Should I like yourself as picky?
Oops.
Yeah, Cheryl?
I don't think I would use the word picky, but maybe more careful. Yeah, because you don't want to, to put it bluntly, you don't want to waste each other's time.
So do you consider yourself picky?
Picky, the word, you need a range of selection for you to be picky.
Maybe it's selective, but maybe it's not picky, and choosy is different.
We are just really careful.
Dating in Singapore can be quite a chore, but what gives women an edge over the competition when it comes to dating? Do educational qualities play a part? Find out in our next clip.